9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, welcome back. How you
Hey,
been?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, work's been super busy, but other than that, just hanging out and doing my thing. So,
That's good. That's good. Chat,
uh,
what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. I see you, Sin, first in the door. She said she just finished listening to yesterday's episode with me and Raj. So make sure if you guys didn't catch it, that you guys go back and listen to it. It was a very good show. Shout out to Raj. Eddie, what's up? Ty, the old man made it before his bedtime. I'm so proud of you. Throwback, what's up? Melissa, I see you. Christy, Joel, Bebop, what up, what up? I see you guys. JDLR, what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. As you guys make your way into the chat, drop your numbers so we can start off with a giveaway. I decided, since Trey Lance is in the news today, and we'll kind of talk about his interview with Avery and Quincy Avery and everything about that, that we're going to show him some love and do some Trey Lance giveaways today. So if you don't like Trey Lance, just pass your wins on to somebody else if you win.
yep.
Which, speaking of that, I have had a couple people, real quick, I had a couple people ask, some other time ago, that if they get a card, win a card that they've already won, because there's a bunch of duplicates, whatever, or it's of a player that they don't like, if they, if we would be upset if they, give it to somebody else that's in the chat or whatever. After you guys win it, that's up to you. If you want to give it to somebody else that's in the chat, or even if they're not in the chat and they're normally, in the show or whatever, just tell me, like, put it in Melissa's bag, or put it in, Tia's bag, or whatever, and I'll just put the wins with theirs.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to take nothing that you're not going to want.
Yeah. Or easier way, if you see a card, because she always shows the card pretty much right before you win it. If it's something that you don't like, then you don't have to draw a number. You can just be like, no, I'm good on this one, and then just don't draw in general. But yeah, so like for instance, I'm gonna call you out, Izzy. If you get a Kyle Juszczyk card, you obviously, if you see that she's gonna draw that and say you're gonna win this card, you don't have to put a number out there. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we haven't talked in a while, since I haven't even talked to you since the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on how the Super Bowl went? All the drama leading up to the Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Eagles, even though the Eagles should have been focused on Kansas City and they weren't.
Yeah.
How do you think the game went overall?
I don't know. I thought it was comical. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I feel like a lot of it was kind of foolishness. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of different things, and like I'm not even mad at. Like I know people were kind of like on both sides of the coin with Debo when he called Bradbury trash or whatever. Or I think that was his name. That guy Bradbury. He was like, "Hey, he's trash." We were like, "Oh, Debo maybe should keep his mouth shut because they beat us and all this other stuff." And then some people are loving it, like, well, he was right, like he got a holding call and all this other stuff. But I don't know, like I love some cool trash talking and stuff like that. But there was a couple Eagles fans at work that kept coming up to me and be like, man, how come the 49ers are so salty, man? They're just focused on us. And I was like, well, why are you guys worried about it? Like,
Yeah.
If you beat us, then why don't you guys focus on KC, but it was just funny. I don't know.
Real quick. So, Eddie, see all these cards right here? This is just from the last 2 weeks of episodes. So there's piles of cards that have been won. So it has your name on it if you won something. If you haven't given me your address yet, it's still sitting here with your name on it. And it'll get mailed to you when I get the time. There's like hundreds of giveaways that I have to mail out. So it'll make it to you sooner or later. So, yeah. If you want to be hired onto the staff of no pay, and you can sit here and mail out giveaways if you'd like. And they'll get out faster. But if not, then it's just me doing it. So you got to be patient. It'll get to you. What's up, Denise? I see you. I saw Melissa said something about juice. Let me see.
Yeah,
So.
I know Ty said something too. Ty was like, "Yeah, I want to win number 44 to give it to my friend in New Jersey."
I don't know. I must have missed it.
Mm.
All right, but anyway. So yeah, enter your numbers. We'll start off with a giveaway.
Yeah, you know what I will say though, talking about the Super Bowl. Some cat at work had the audacity to say that Patrick Mahomes is now on Joe Montana's level because he's won his second Super Bowl in 6 years or whatever the case may be. I'm like, dude, like it's not even comparable right now. Like he has to first hit four, and two, like Joe Montana has never lost a Super Bowl, and he's never thrown an interception in a Super Bowl. So you can miss me with this. Oh, he's on Joe Montana level nonsense. Like
Yeah.
he has a lot more to prove before you can say he's in that category and in that conversation. So
Yeah, Denise, you weren't here when I drew the giveaways at the end of the show. You guessed the number exactly right, so you won the autograph card plus the 2 cards that I was giving away. Let me see. She wasn't here to even know she won it. Yeah, so you won the Danny Gray autograph. Won this Danny Gray autograph because your number was exactly right.
nice.
And then you had won the Fred Warner and
Brandon
Brandon
Ayuk.
Ayuk. Yep.
Some good cards.
Yep.
Good job, Denise.
She's winning and wasn't even here. What's up, Sam? I see you. So now this is what's up for if you guess the number exactly right. Is this Ty Davis Price jersey card, rookie card? It's numbered out of $3.99. So that's what'll be next. And then up on deck after that is an Ayuk jersey card.
Nice.
So that's a little bonus if you get it exactly right. So yeah, let's go. It's kind of funny now that the off season starts. All this crazy drama comes out, and it's like almost full circle because it seems like the stuff that was such storylines last off season. One, Trey Lance's arm fatigue, and then that, and what was the other thing? And then during the season that fingers crossed emojis, he touched on that. When they're like, oh, he wants to be traded to the Titans or wherever the hell. He touched on that, and then the arm fatigue was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was something else, but so we'll go over all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go over some stuff that I talked to Raj about yesterday about some players that are leaving. Just kind of, some off-season moves that we could see happening. Before I do get into any of that, though, and I wanted to touch on this on yesterday's show and I didn't want to just throw it out there in the middle of the show. Mm-hmm. So we'll start off with this is the Michigan State University, the shooting that happened there this week. As of right now, there's 3 dead. There's still 5 that are in critical condition. So I just wanted to, put thoughts and prayers out there from us to them. It's sad because there was a lot of those students there that just had to go through that, horrible thing that went through it like a year ago at their high school.
Yeah.
So not only did they survive one mass shooting at their school, they've now had to live through 2 of them. That's disgusting. So I just wanted to put thoughts and prayers out to them, to the families involved, to the lives lost, to everybody affected, because I couldn't imagine, my daughter just started, her first year of college. And, there were talks about if she was going to leave and go to college somewhere else, and having to be staying in dorms or whatnot. And I couldn't even imagine having to deal with that, or her having to live through that. And then, just they're expected to, they get 2 days off from school, but, then you have to just pick up and continue on with life and go back to those classes that the shooting happened in with the empty chairs that your friend used to be sitting in, That's just terrible to have to deal with
crazy.
at all, let alone
Yeah.
at such a young age, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there real
Yeah.
quick. And then again, we did touch on this quickly yesterday, but thoughts and prayers out to the Kittle family, to George and Claire, for what they're going through. That's terrible. Like, you know, they put the pictures of the timeline of like events and stuff. And it's like you could tell they were so excited to announce it to their families, and for them to like lose, you know, for it to happen how it happened. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but
Yeah,
it
for
just
sure.
sucks. So
Yeah.
definitely thoughts and prayers out to the Kittles. So yeah, let's just jump. Well, we'll draw this first giveaway so that we're
Okay.
not waiting too long on that one.
Everybody got their numbers in?
Got your numbers. Let me see here. For this first one, let's do. What we got here? How about a matchup that a lot of us were excited to see last year that didn't get to happen? So hopefully we'll get to see it. Trey Lance and Danny Gray.
Nice.
Trey to Gray. Let's get it. Good luck, everybody. Make sure you got your numbers in. Draw right now. Hey, Jess. Hey, 49ers Jive. Edward. Some of you are sneaking in here. Bryant. Collie.
What's up, Collie? Put them last minute numbers in.
I see y'all. Howdy, partner.
Howdy, folks. Gotta
Y'all
love
come
Sam.
back now. Make sure, David McNew, I see you. I know, Eddie, man. That connection, the trade, Ayuk, like so many. Hey, Kelps, good to see you.
Me to Eddie.
I even want to see Trey to Tay Martin. Like, there's lots of connections I want from Trey there. All right, got your numbers in. We're drawing. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah. I bet if he was healthy, we probably would have saw a lot of trade of Ray McLeod too.
90.
90.
90. Who's the lucky winner?
Do you know who was first?
No. I see a 99.
Let me scroll down here. I see a 99. I see an 84 too, though.
Okay. Let's see who we got. 81.
Yeah, I think 84 is the closest. East Coast red and gold.
All right. It's coming in. Taking the win. Congrats. Congrats, Jess. And you
Trade
can go
to
ahead
the
and
gray.
start entering your numbers in there. Yes, and start getting entered into the next one. That's again. So we'll know the next number start. Let's see who enters their first number here real quick. Then we'll get into some Trey Lance talk. All right, so first number starts with Bebop, 14 after.
Perfect.
Let me start it. There we go. All right, good luck, everybody. All right, so yeah, if you guys haven't listened to that interview yet with Quincy Avery and Trey Lance, it was really good. I know, obviously, if you're on social media, there's a lot of clips that are going out, but like, I don't know, like I hated, like I seen a whole bunch of stuff going out today, and it's just frustrating because once you hear like the interview and then you look at the stuff that's going out and the clips that are going out, it's like you can tell, that people just clip up, and this is what always happens, not just with this, but they clip up whatever fits their narrative that they've been going for the last however long, right? And put the clip out there or put a statement out there with no context, nothing that has to do with anything. And it's just frustrating because it's like, that's going to start so much freaking drama and problems, and yeah, we know that there's some out there that that's what they live for. That's what they love. Right. Like, not mentioning any names, but, people do that, they put shit out there on purpose to get a rise from people, and no hate, that's their game. That's their style of doing it. But it's like, if you're not that type of person, like you have to be very careful with the stuff that you put out there these days, because like, if it wasn't intentional or not, like you're putting stuff out there that's causing all this fucking drama and stir for what? It's like, I'm so sick and tired of 49ers fans fighting with each other.
Same here.
I'm like so careful not to put stuff out there that's going to cause more, like that's going to add fuel to the freaking 49ers fans fights, like, because I'm sick of it. It's tiring. It's exhausting, and that's part of the reason why I just needed, like, I knew, okay, here's a whole nother offseason that we're going into of quarterback controversy, quarterback drama, every other thing that they could think of, and it's just like, I had to like get mentally prepared, like kind of put on your hard hat and your freaking war suit, because, you got to get ready for this shit. And it's just like exhausting sometimes, and it's like, why are you putting stuff out there to make that worse? Like, I just don't understand that.
Yeah. And I think Ryan Hensley, he said it best too. He was saying that, like, we have one healthy quarterback on this team as of now, which is probably, Trey's probably the healthy, and people are still wanting him traded.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the healthiest quarterback on our roster. Yeah, I'm with you, Miriah. It's sickening. It's unfortunate. Like, I kind of been staying off of Twitter a little bit because like it just irritates my soul. I've said this numerous times. I'm like, I don't know a player in NFL history that has been talked about more, has been given up on, has like nobody respects Trey. Like, I'm not talking about the people on here. I feel like a lot of people on here pretty much respect Trey and they want to see him do well. Ultimately, I know our goal is to have the best quarterback play. So I'm not sitting here saying I don't like Brock Purdy. I'm just saying a lot of people are advocates for Trey because we see what can be probably, well, I guess we have a vision of what we can see possibly in the future with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate that, you just get these people, you got the Justin Fields supporters, you know what I mean, that just like, like I feel like there's people like they rather Trey fail and be right than have this 49ers team be good.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me. Like after I mean, like, I've mentioned this before, like, you got a lot of 49ers fans who like the Warriors, you know what I mean? And the Warriors, drafted a player number 1 overall, James Wiseman, or number 2 overall, excuse me, and James Wiseman. And it's been years, he came in before traded, and they were like, oh no, just, it's too early. Don't give up on him. Unfortunately, he got traded, but they're like, don't give up on him. And he was never hardly ever called a bust. You got maybe 1 or 2% who would be like, James Wiseman's a bust. But then you have a lot of 49er fans, a huge percentage that already want to get rid of him, calling him a bust. I'm just ready for this kid to go in there and do his thing, and just shut everybody up, because, winning cures all. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, like this clickbait stuff. And, there's some people I can say, you got the 80 49ers, the lobs all day, all these people that come out here with these stupid clips and have every opportunity they get a chance to hate on Trey, which is crazy. Then you want to call yourself a 49ers fan. So, I mean, you don't have to like everybody on the team. I get it. Like, you don't have to, but you still should support them in some type of way. Like, as much as I didn't want Jimmy to be the starter, I still supported this team. I'm still sitting there. I still wanted Jimmy to win. You know what I'm saying? As much as, we can go back last year, everybody and their mama hated Josh Norman on this team. I mean, everybody was getting irritated. But as much as I didn't want him on the field, I'm like, dude, I want you to do good. Go out there and stop holding, stop doing this. Mike McGlinch is another one. I couldn't stand the guy this year, but he had some good games. All I wanted to do was him to do well because he still has 49ers on his back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree, Mariah. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to those people no more. I just want Trey to go out there and do his thing. And that's that's pretty much it. I just can't. Yeah, these 49er fans, it used to be us back in the day even when we were terrible, like in the Alex Smith, his early years. 49ers used to stick together and go after other teams no matter how terrible we were. We can go 2-14 back in the day, and it was still all about the Niners and sticking up for each other. But now that we have this quarterback controversy going on, I feel like it's gotten worse since 2020, since Trey's been on this team.
Oh yeah, it has.
Yep.
Sin, I posted the full one in our group chat. And Sim, I sent it to you too. That was just Rob. He recorded the entire thing, and that's why it's under that. But that's where I was able to find the entire thing, because where Avery had it originally playing, they don't archive any videos. So if you didn't watch it live there, you can't find a recorded one there. So Rob's was the first one that I found that he recorded it while it was going live. But yeah, it's 30 whatever minutes, or I don't know how long it is.
Yeah.
23 minutes. So Sin, I put it in our group chat. I tagged you in it. But yeah, anyways. So let's talk about some things. First thing was, I wrote a couple notes of some things I found interesting. So we'll read a couple off and then talk about it a little. The first one was that the crossing fingers thing when Trey Lance wished good luck to Rand Carthon when he left. So, and I'm glad that they did this and that Quincy Avery's aware of what the biggest headlines of Trey Lance were out there at the time, and asked him specifically about those things, So Trey says that, and just like how we thought, except for that Trey went into detail a little bit and said, especially in this last year when he's been rehabbing and everything, that Rand would come in with his two sons, his two younger sons. And so Trey ended up spending a lot of time with them, that he even referred to them as his shining light through this time, so he said that he got close with him, got close with his family. And, that exactly what he said, that he was wishing him luck, that's his guy and he wants to see him do well. And then Trey even said that, that's the emoji that he uses the most out of any other emoji out there, is that this emoji.
Fingers crossed thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Quincy even had said that, that maybe it's a younger, and we touched on this too, that it's a younger generation type thing. And he even said that him and Trey Lance, that's how they'll even put those fingers crossed things in regular text messages that they're sending back and forth. So where I always use the sideways laughing emoji, that's my number one, that and the goat emoji are my number two used emojis. So it's that I use it in text, I use it in social media, I use it wherever, anywhere that I can put emojis, I use that emoji. So it's the same thing, that he uses that emoji, I'm wishing my guy good luck. Exactly. And he even said that he didn't even know, it caused this big stir online. He said the next day Kyle comes into the meetings and was like, oh, so you want to get traded to the Titans, huh? And he's like, what are you talking about? And he told him, oh, that finger cross emoji I saw today, that, it's caused this big old stir saying you want to get traded. And they were laughing about it. Oh my gosh, can you believe, the shit that these people come up with, pretty much. So I just thought it was pretty funny that, even Kyle was, laughing about the whole thing. And I don't know. I thought it was ridiculous that was even a thing to begin with. It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it goes back to what you were saying about the fighting and the disagreements and stuff like that. It's as soon as he did it, trade of the Titans confirmed, and let's see if we can get two first for him. And I'm just man, the man, all he did was send an emoji, and you guys were taking it to a whole nother level. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's wishing, oh, he knows his job is taken, so he wants to be gone. And I'm just like, are you guys kidding me? That's what you guys took out of his emoji of the fingers crossed. He just wishing this man well. But yeah, it's crazy. Now that's funny that Kyle said something to him like in a joking way, like, oh, it's gonna go to the Titans, huh? Like it was just, I mean, for like a whole week, it was just like, yeah, he should go to the Titans, and like it was just, it was crazy. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. People are going to take the smallest things and make it a huge deal. A lot of people are clout chasers. A lot of people. I don't know what goes on with some of these people's home. Like, are you lonely? Are you not having
You
sex?
gotta
Like,
be.
what's going on? Like, are you not having sex? Like, why you got to be so miserable that you got to sit here and just talk so bad about the kid and wish him the worst? You know what I mean, or whatever the case may
Like
be.
a
I don't
22-year
know.
old kid. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. 22-year-old kid. Like he can be my son. You know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah.
I think that's why I feel so bad for him, because like if that was my kid, like I'd be hotter than fish grease. And to cook some fish, fry some fish,
Yeah.
it gotta be hot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just hate the fact. Now, like I said, it'd be different if he won a full season and he looked horrendous. Then I can swallow some of those words and be like, oh, he's not that good. But the man had 3 complete starts, and then you guys are just, trying to pack his bags for him to go out of town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, that's still one of the major things that I keep hearing, content creators, fans, whatever, talk about is trading Trey Lance this offseason. And it's just like, you don't want to have a healthy quarterback on the roster? Like,
Exactly.
it doesn't make sense. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen. We're going to speak about this a little bit later, but you don't even know what's going to happen with Brock's surgery until the surgeon gets in there and does it. So to just act like, oh, he's for sure going to be healthy, start week 1, and we can just trade away our only healthy quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
that just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
Yeah. And two, you don't know.
fucking ignorant.
Yeah, it's dumb. And you don't know what's going to happen. Like, hopefully he doesn't, but you don't know if he has a setback. Like, they can say 4 to 5 months, but they can end up being 6 or 7 because he didn't heal correctly or whatever.
Mhm.
So, yeah, the fact that they want to they want to trade away our healthiest quarterback, and Trey said he'll be ready for OTAs or whatever. So he's not even completely healthy. So the fact that you want to trade the healthiest guy is mind blowing, to even knowing the fact that it's a $20 million cap hit.
Yeah. Mhm.
$20 million cap hit, and they're still talking about trading this dude. Like, you really want the team to have that much of a cap hit going into the season where Ayuk is gonna be under contract and Bosa, and it's unbelievable. People are saying, oh, forget him, let's just release or trade him and bring back Jimmy, and let it be Jimmy and Brock's team. Like, it's unbelievable.
Like, Kyle told these people straight to your face, like, Jimmy will not be a part of this team. Like, something he's never said before.
Ever.
Like,
Yeah.
it's always, oh, we don't know. Oh, I won't ever say anything's for certain, but we're not planning on it. Or we don't even know if we're going to be live, or,
Live on
something.
Sunday. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
he looked
Yeah.
right into the camera and said, that motherfucker ain't going to be on this team anymore.
Basically.
And
Yep.
these people are still like, gargle, like, get the hell out of here. It's so aggravating.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my
Yep.
God.
And they keep their head in his
I see a couple
lap.
of you that joined. Tony Montana, I see you. Ryan, I see you. Miss Deb. I saw someone else. Platform. Lawrence, appreciate you stopping in.
Sam cracking up. Yeah, he ain't lying.
The
It's
generation
funny.
of thirst.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Make sure everybody got their numbers in. Those that have just joined, scroll up. Up was the so scroll up some. Check the numbers. We're doing a day of Trey Lance giveaways today, so get entered. And yeah, I saw a couple of you bring up the whole Debo rumors, all that nonsense. We're going to touch on that too.
Yeah.
So the next thing was, and this was a big thing, all of us content creators talked about it. It was everywhere on social media, and it almost became like we had to be defending him for something that really we had no clue about, like not the extent of it, not anything about it. And that was the whole arm fatigue thing. So Quincy asks him, about it, like, oh, you had said that, your arm was feeling fatigued and, that kind of went on this whole thing. All these people ran with it. And like, you know, so he kind of talked about that a little. And what he said was that he went 20 months straight of throwing. He said he don't even think that he had a week break in between there.
Yep, I saw that. Yep.
It says that, you know, normally quarterbacks, they take off a couple months, you know, after the season ends before they start throwing again. So they have a couple months break before they start preparing for the season. And Trey Lance had to go from his rookie season, I mean, his last year of college, all the way to his first year, till the first year that he was in the NFL ended without having a break from throwing. So like he asked him, so, you know, your arm was just tired from a lot of throws. Like, is that what you're meaning by arm fatigue? And he says, yes. Like, you know, like, and if you think about it, like anybody, like we could go to the gym, you know, if I were to go to the gym today and go freaking push some weights, you know, I'm going to come home and tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, the next freaking week, since I don't ever work out, the next week, my freaking arms are right here going to be sore, you know, because you're doing all this activity that you're not used to doing. So
Exactly.
Imagine throwing, like us normal people, like just imagine throwing every single day for 20 months straight.
Yeah, he said at minimum he was there like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
3 times. So if if that's the lowest that he was throwing a week, imagine him throwing for 5 days, 5 days a week, and only giving himself, you know, the weekends off or whatever the case may be. So yeah, like you said, kind of like the weight training thing. Like if you bench press, you know, if you bench press on a Monday, let's just say, you're really not supposed to bench press again until Thursday if you were having a great workout. Like you're supposed to give your chest muscles some time to grow and stuff like that. So yeah, I can understand. So if you bench press for 7 days a week, and we're not talking for 20 months, we're talking about just for 7 days. You bench press for 7 days straight, you're gonna be sore. Like, you know what I mean? There's no, your chest is gonna be so tight, and it's crazy. So yeah, I get. So I mean, so to anybody who's questioning this man's work ethic, is comical at this point. You can just see he was trying to hone in on his craft and trying to get better and trying to try to get his arm ready to be an NFL level quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I'm sounds like from what he was saying though that he learned from that. You know what I mean? And that he's gonna take some time off and stuff like that. Like, you know, I kind of, I mean, it's not the same situation. Like some people like to dog this man out, and I'm sure that Brian Greasy is a great guy in the locker room and stuff like that. But I would love for Trey just to spend a little bit of time with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner just seems like a good dude. You know, he always can get some good advice and stuff like that. You know, he's a real, God fearing man, stuff like that. I just wish that Trey would get with him for a little bit and kind of let him know his, kind of talk about the journey and, stuff like that. I don't know. It just seems like a good person to be with, as far as, having a conversation about how to play the NFL position, the NFL quarterback position. So,
yeah. What's up, Emiliano? Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping in. Glad you could catch us. Make sure everybody has your numbers in. We'll go ahead and draw that. The last thing to wrap up that little segment was that Quincy Avery did say that the draft prep that he did and that Trey Lance did was the longest draft prep that he's ever seen anybody do. And he gets quarterbacks ready. Like that's, part of his job. Like that's what he does. And that was the longest draft prep time that anybody that he's ever seen was what Trey Lance did. So I think the whole arm fatigue thing is obviously, yes, it was true. It came out of Trey Lance's mouth himself. But this is one of the things that people aren't using context for because, like he goes on to say that, yeah, all this throwing that he did and that his arm was tired, like I think that's just a normal thing. Like that don't mean that, he's not going to be able to go into an NFL game and complete all the throws that he needs to complete because his arm's going to be too tired. Like when it first broke last year, like that's what was going on. Like people are saying, he's not even going to be able to, he hasn't played enough. So his arm doesn't even have like enough muscle built up to make it through a game, where like the last 5 throws of the game will say like he's not going to be able to compete because his arm's going to be too tired. Like that's what people were making it seem like, which is total bullshit.
Yeah. I know you watched pretty much the whole thing, didn't and I saw a post from a couple of Twitter people, didn't Quincy Avery kind of say the same thing too about like Trey as like as an athlete and as a runner, like trying to compare him to like Jalen Hurts. He was like he's not the most elusive runner like a Jalen Hurts, and then he say something along the lines of, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, that he pretty much Quincy Avery said that he wished that Trey Lance wouldn't have been running so much.
That was on an interview that he did a few months ago. That
Mm.
wasn't this one. But yeah, people are bringing that out now.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I've been seeing it a lot today. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like a couple month old interview he redid. Let's go ahead and draw the winner for this giveaway. Let's see what we got here.
Thanks, Sim. I didn't know that. I know he dated Colin Cowherd's daughter. I didn't know he dated Mike Florio's daughter too.
He's not Trey dating everybody's daughters. Come on.
Well, Sim said Trey used to date Florio's daughter. I didn't know that.
Well, I know it was Cowherd's.
I know it was Cowherd's for sure. Yeah.
Sim trying to make him like a hoe out there. Come on.
Oh, he said, "My bad, Cowherd." Okay. I was like, "Dang, Florio's daughter too." I was like, "Go ahead, Trey."
All right, let's do Juwan Jennings and Trey Lance. Another matchup. Let's see if we get to see this season. So make sure you got your numbers in. Got Juwan Jennings, rookie card, and Trey Lance.
That's a sick card for Jennings.
Yeah. Right?
See what platform said? He said, "My young G gets around like Tupac."
All right. Good luck, everybody. Gonna draw. $23.
The time my lady doesn't get up here and put that up there. She uses 23 almost every time. Let me see. You started the first person. You said 14 after.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up from the bottom already.
All right, let me go up here. Oh, okay. First number was 21 by Bebop. So let's see what goes on from there.
Bebop.
See.
Oh, Christy.
Nope.
Marie.
I see a 23. I saw 23. Yep. Nice.
Christy killing it. Yay.
Very nice.
Congrats, Christy. So you're going to get this TDP jersey card. If I can get it in the right damn thing here.
Yeah, I can see it pretty good on camera.
And Juwan Jennings and Trey Lance. So congrats.
Congrats, Christy.
All right. Next up for that is this one. Brandon Ayuk jersey card. It came with this in the back. I don't know why.
Did it really?
Like that's the sleeve that it's in Pokemon.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
So I just kept it in there.
Okay.
Let me get this packaged in for Christy here. Congrats again. So back-to-back episodes, somebody's won the exactly right card.
That's awesome.
Got some good guessers out there.
That's awesome, Chrissy. She said she collects them for her 8-year-old son. That's amazing.
Yep. Love it. We love it. All right. Go ahead and enter those numbers for the next one. So a couple other things that, maybe just one thing or so, is that Quincy talked about that the attention from detail from Trey Lance is something that, out of all the players that he's worked with, all the quarterback he's worked with, even with Trey Lance being as young as he is and one of the youngest, that the attention for detail that Trey Lance has is above and beyond everybody else's. And he, went on to talk about how he thinks that that's one of the things that's going to make Trey Lance great, because he already had, is preparing for the season and like had everything written down from like what he's going to do from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep every day for the next freaking year, like everything. Like, and Trey Lance talked about how he doesn't go out, like he stays at home, like he's hardly out, he'll have his friends or family come over, but for the most part, like he don't like going out to eat, even like he wants to be at home, and like this is something that kind of pissed me off, leading up into the end of the season and stuff, is that all this stuff started going out there about Trey Lance, all these rumors and bullshit that, oh, he doesn't work hard enough, and that's why, Brock Purdy, even if they compete, Brock's going to beat him out because Trey Lance doesn't work hard. Trey Lance doesn't work hard. Trey Lance doesn't work hard. And up until this point, like, he's done nothing but show us the complete opposite of that.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that we complimented him the most on since he's got drafted, is the work and the time, the dedication, everything that he puts into his craft, like him calling around to all these other people to find out, like, hey, what of my game needs to improve? What do I need to get better on? So that he can work on it and try to be the best that he can be at what he does. Like, and just like from the time he's been playing football, like so many people have just doubted him. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't play quarterback. And he's done nothing but prove everybody wrong. So it's just so odd to me that this stuff still gets thrown out there like that, like I don't. And, something that I really can't stand is that, like I like Brock Purdy too. If he goes in there and beats out Trey Lance, well, then Brock Purdy's our quarterback and I'm going to support him, but to have to put one down to compliment the other, like, is such bullshit. Like, I hate that. Like, you don't have to put Trey Lance down just because you want to up Brock Purdy on something.
Exactly.
You can say, oh, Brock Purdy does this great without even fucking bringing up Trey Lance's name. Or he does this great, but, this is something Trey Lance needs to improve on. Okay, that's great. But you don't have to, oh, Trey Lance is shit. He can't even throw the ball. He doesn't work hard. Oh, Brock Purdy's this. Brock Purdy's great. Like, it isn't necessary.
Yeah, well, even during the season, like I remember when Brock got to like his third straight win, I've seen people tweet like, "Oh, Trey would never," and you know what I mean. It's like, why does that have to? Why you guys have to be like that? But yeah, just like you said, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that one. That's perfect the way you said it was. Yeah, you don't have to put down one quarterback to appreciate the other. Just sit there, like you said, it's one thing to be like, Brock has the poise right now. He's more poised than Trey. Trey will get there eventually. That's not really putting him down. It's a fact. Brock is more poised. Trey, he's not poised as much as Brock is, but maybe he'll get there. That's not tearing somebody down. But to sit there and be like, oh, Brock's so poised, like Trey Lance is so trash, and he needs to just keep the bench warm. And it's like, it doesn't even have to be like that, And there's, and it's sad how some people are sitting there. And I get it. Brock Purdy did amazing. Well, he was 7-0. Probably the only reason why we lost is because he got hurt. So I give him his respect. But to sit here and people are just like handing him, it's funny. They always talk about Trey was handed the job. But then when they say, oh, like we're going to training camp, like let them both compete for the starting position. Oh, the job should be handed to Brock. I'm like, no, it shouldn't be. You got two capable quarterbacks. Yes, I understand Brock went 7-0, but they both really haven't accomplished anything. They're both green. They both can get better. Let's just see what happens in training camp, preseason, and see what happens. And I'm going to say this. I know it's kind of off subject, but I'm all about competition. As a man who's played football, I'm all about competition. If somebody comes in there and beats me, so be it. Like that happened to me before. I got switched from middle linebacker to fullback because some dude came from LA and took my position. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like he came and beat me out of the job. So, it is what it is. But what I'm going to be pissed off about is if we go into training camp, both quarterbacks healthy, and whoever the case may be, because I feel like, and you can if you can agree with me or maybe you don't, I feel like a lot of the locker room, I say at least 60 to 65% of the locker room already have it in their mind that that Brock Purdy is the starter. So if they go into training camp preseason and if Trey looks leaps and bounds above Brock, you know what I mean? Like he just looks way better. And if he doesn't get that start, like I'm not talking about like it's just like it's even. I'm talking about if he's just out there just like hitting the deep ball, doing whatever, like he just looks amazing. And then they sit there and they say, well, I'm going to give Brock Purdy the starting quarterback in week 1. I'm going to be very disappointed in this team, and I'm going to lose a lot of respect for Kyle, because if it's clear and if it's clear as day that Trey looks better and doesn't get the opportunity to start, I'm going to question his leadership, because of the simple fact that as as a manager, I'd be danged if somebody told me how to run my department. If I feel as a manager, if I feel that these things is what's best suited to get us to meet quota and to save us money and stuff, I don't care what you have to say. I'm the manager. It's going to fall back on me. So if Kyle really sits back in his mind and he thinks like, oh, Trey looks way better, but I'm going to give it to Brock because the locker room doesn't really support Trey, I'm going to be very disappointed. And Trey at that point should request a trade.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. A lot of, if I was Trey and this and that, I would be requesting trades. So it'll definitely be interesting how this all plays out. I just really hope for our sanity, for the 49ers' sake, that they just do shit the right way.
Yeah, just do it the right way. That's all I'm asking for. Give both quarterbacks a fair shot without a biased take from any of your players, like Kyle, Anthony Lynn, Brian Greasy really needs to be the one to sit down and make the decision of who's going to be what. Like, it shouldn't be dictated by players in the locker room. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And real quick, speaking of that, they did hire someone today, Clint Kubiak.
Oh, yeah. Clint Kubiak from the Vikings, huh?
Yep. So Tom Pelissero had said the 49ers are hiring Clint Kubiak to a top role on Kyle Shanahan's offensive staff, replacing Bobby Slowick, who we know is going to the Texans. Per sources, Kubiak, the former Vikings OC and Broncos quarterback coach, steps into a spot that has been a promotion factory, with Slowick most recently becoming Houston's OC. So I think that's a great pickup right there.
Hire, absolutely. Yeah, I like that hire.
I think from everything that I've ever heard about the two, that Clint Kubiak's actually an upgrade over freaking Slowick. So
yes,
I don't know how we keep getting lucky. I mean, it all has to play out. We'll see how it all turns out. But right now on paper, how we keep getting lucky to replace, the great talent that we have when they leave, be able to replace them with great.
Oh, I think we lost Miriah for a second. But yeah, looking at the comments, I agree with you, JV and platform. I think when it comes down to it, we all want to win, all of us. We all want to win as 49ers fans, especially some of the older ones who are used to seeing greatness, who haven't seen a Super Bowl since the 90s. That's all we want. So, getting the team in the best position to win is all we ask for. And this hire, I think, Miriah, is amazing. Like you said, I don't know how we keep getting lucky, or maybe just they like the organization, and maybe people just want to come with Kyle and say, because let's just be honest here, because Kyle elevates people's careers. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if I'm going to have a chance to pick between, the Niners or Houston Texans or the Niners or whoever, you know what I mean? It's like, man, I'm going to go with them because as we see, whether it's you being on the D line, whether it's you being a quarterback coach, whatever the case may be, you always have a job afterwards, it seems, once you leave the 49ers organization.
Yeah, you're going to be on the 49ers and then you're going to get paid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, with D line, I mean, look at the factor with my mind was blank right now, but the DN that went from us to Seattle and then came back. Yeah. He got paid. He had a career year, 9 sacks almost, left. He didn't do anything, but ultimately he came back. You know what I mean? Arden Key's another one. His play was lackluster with the Raiders. Comes to the Niners, and he has a great year. It goes to Jacksonville. Now he's doing his thing. So, yeah, you come to the Niners, you're right. That's well said. You come to the Niners, you coach a few years, and then you're going to get paid.
Yeah. What's up, JV? I see you. There
you go, Carrie Hyder. Yeah.
For those that didn't hear, don't know, me and Beto and Ryan, who's also in chat from No Border Sports, we're going to be doing a show every Tuesday night together. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Be starting next week. Everybody got your numbers in We're going to do a giveaway. This time we're going to do Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk. Trey Lance see-through. It's hard to move shit on camera, man. It's like backwards and you move it forward and it's really like comes this way. Like, man, this shit's confusing. I always used to see everybody do it. Oh, JV shows on Tuesdays. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. What time is the show that you're doing the show, Miriah? With
what
them?
time, Ryan? Hey, Jerry, I see you. Good to see you. That's the only day that all of us didn't have another show, so that's why it has to be Tuesdays. It's okay. You guys can watch it on playback.
There you go.
It'll be on all 3 channels, I think so. You can come back and you can watch it on all 3 channels. Go put your like on all 3 channels. Yeah, we know what time JV's show is.
Yeah. What time is your guys'?
We know what time our show is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm asking Ryan to put it in there.
You haven't said it yet, huh?
No. No, Melissa's just putting stuff.
Let's go, Ryan. No, I'm just playing. No, yeah, that's awesome.
Ryan,
you guys not for real. No, I'm just like, yeah, no. You guys come support 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ooh.
Yeah, the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody got your numbers in? You do Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk.
Hey, Ryan put a question mark, so I think he might be asking you if that's okay. Are you put a question mark because you're asking her, or is that what the time is?
We had already set the time, so.
Oh, yeah, he put 6 p.m. He has a question mark.
Maybe he's trying to remember.
Bring back the residency matching hats for my birthday next month. What day's your birthday, Izzy?
Drive safe, Jerry. All right, we're drawing. Christy said, don't be stealing, okay? I'm just going to pick every number Christy picks. All right, let's go. 82, that was a good year platform.
It was all right.
21.
21 again, huh? Or was it last
21, 21.
Maybe.
It was 23 before.
It was 23 last time, that's right. Let me go back. I starred the person who was first.
Did somebody get it exactly right? Let's see.
That would be crazy. The start went away. Hold on.
Jive, he got his backwards. Dyslexic.
439. Dyslexic.
Dang,
I'm close.
Somebody that close.
I'm close.
Let's see. 16. The closest.
Let me see. I see. Yeah, 16's up there.
As soon as freaking StreamYard gets their giveaway system working, we're gonna try. I'll try it again next show and see if they got it working yet. That'll be a lot easier than having to scroll through and check these numbers.
Yeah. I think 16 is the closest.
16, Joel.
Yeah.
Congrats, my friend. It's been a while since you won. Joel it is. Brandon Ayuk, Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Let me play this for you.
You see what Christy put? We won in the Super Bowl in Vegas. If the 49ers are in the Super Bowl next year and it's in Vegas, I'm going to have to go to that. Like, that's just, right on my alley.
As soon as the Super Bowl ended, I put that on Twitter.
The Niners winning the Super Bowl.
The 49ers going to be in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs in Vegas. And we're going to win it in Vegas.
Really? With the Chiefs,
Yep.
huh?
Yep.
Interesting. I'm gonna go Niners and Bengals.
Until some team can beat the Chiefs, I'm not betting against them. I see him kick
Well,
ass too often.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, even if you guys don't come to watch the Super Bowl in person, just even if you guys can come in general, it'd be a great time.
Yeah, I definitely want to try, like even if I hope we're in the Super Bowl, but even if not,
Mhm.
since the Super Bowl is going to be here, I want to try to go to Media Row and do that whole experience.
Oh yeah,
Get
for
to do
sure.
all that. All
JB, I'll be
right, let
there.
me game. I'm getting a giveaway ready, guys. So enter your numbers. This will be the one we close out with. Let's see. How about a Trey Lance to CMC combo?
That's a good combo.
That's one combination we haven't seen yet.
Nope.
That'll be, woo! I can't wait for that one. That'll be good.
Sam, those tickets are gonna cost your firstborn and 75 cattle. Yeah.
I'll be there. You're welcome, Joel. So yeah, let's talk about. Obviously, we heard in the rumor mill today, the off season of rumor mills, that the Patriots were sniffing around about 49er star Deebo Samuel for a possible trade. This is another thing that like people just throw the shit out there and without like taking into context about things around it, So Deebo Samuel has a cap hit over $8 million for 2023. If he's traded before June 2nd, he'll have a dead money hit to the 49ers of $28.43 million. So it'll cost the 49ers so much money to trade him. They'd be in a hole that more than what his freaking salary is, So it's just crazy. Like we're gonna take a dead hit of 28 million, even though you're set to make 8 million.
Yeah.
So we could say what we want to say, whether he hasn't earned his contract, whether he didn't live up to. I mean, if you thought that he was going to live up to what he did the year before, like you just need to get like your feelings into check because like that was a super duper year for him, and we can't expect that that's ever going to happen again.
No.
But that doesn't mean that he should be making all this money and not doing shit either at the same time. And obviously we know that I'm a huge Brandon Ayuk fan, and I'm gonna be really pissed off if Brandon Ayuk walks. Our one true wide receiver has to walk because we don't have enough money to pay him because we're paying Deebo Samuel all this money to play half the year, and it just seems like defenses either haven't figured out what Kyle's doing with him. We see when he's in the backfield, like it hardly, defenses are right there on it. Like we talked about that Kyle needs to start doing some trickery shit, when he's back there. And we kind of seen that more now that we do have CMC on the team. But it just still, like, it's frustrating, that he's going to make all this money. And I just feel like we're going to end up letting frickin' Ayuk walk. And then what? Like, we're just going to hope that one of these young guys turns into a number one wide receiver. Like, I don't know. Just going to draft somebody because Deebo's not that,
No. Yeah, and we're not saying that Deebo isn't a great playmaker. He's definitely a great playmaker, but Brandon Ayuk is definitely the better wide receiver, and that to me is no argument. You know what I mean? Like he cooks every DB that's on him. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the Patriots, it sounds like they're tampering to me. Like why are they even talking to him? Why they even, NFL should investigate that. It sounds sketch, but yeah, he's not. Yeah, but you're right, Miriah. Like for people to expect like him to have the season he had the year before, like that's asinine. Like that, there was no way that was gonna happen. Like you had Brandon Ayuk stepping up, Kittle, and then when we got CMC, you knew those numbers were gonna go out the door. That Kyle was gonna use CMC as his workhorse. So Debo, unfortunately, and I hope he does, but unfortunately, he's probably not gonna have a season like that again. You know what I mean? Like Mariah said, he averages what between 10 to 12 games per season. He gets hurt. That hamstring to me, he's just getting older. That hamstring is going to be a continuous issue. he's been having that hamstring injury since he was at South Carolina. So it's not going away. It's
Yeah.
something that's just going to keep bothering him. So, and but I'm not saying that it was a bad contract, but yeah, like you have to have the money to sign Ayuk, after this year. Good thing he was a first round pick, and we got that 5th-year option, so we don't have to pay him till 2024, which is good. I'm sure the salary cap's going to go up then, but yeah, it's just for you to try to bank on like a Danny Gray or Jawan Jennings or even a Ray McLeod to step up and try to be like a number 2 receiver. I just don't see that happening. I think they're good at the roles that they're in. I mean, who knows? The jury's still out on Danny Gray. Who knows what he can do? But to find the ability to have the route running of a Brandon Ayuk is going to be tough because I feel like he's
Mm-hmm.
top 5 in the NFL in route running. We know him, Stephon Diggs, the Devontae Adamses, the world, the Justin Jeffersons, like those dudes are just beasts when it comes to running those routes. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Debo ain't going nowhere. Debo Samuel ain't going nowhere. Like you said, that cap hit is crazy. There's no way, we're all about saving money on this in this organization. Ain't no way we're gonna make these kind of trades, when it comes to Debo, the Trey Lances, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's not happening.
And I see a lot of people talk about they were still paying D Ford. Like that was a completely different
Yeah.
situation. Like we're
Like $8
paying him
million or
because of the
something.
injury situation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not because we traded him or
Yeah.
all this shit that.
Yeah.
So.
He's sitting on his couch just collecting checks
for years now.
Yeah.
Like I'll show up to 2 weeks of training camp. Okay, I'm tired. I gotta go back home now.
And what's gonna make me mad too? I don't know what's gonna happen with the Mike McGlinchey thing, but if he comes back, I'll be okay with it depending on the money. But like if they try to sign him because they feel like, oh, there's nobody else that's better than him, like I'm still a big advocate to moving Spencer Burford to right tackle and letting Jalen Moore and Jason Pope battle it out at right guard. You know what I mean? Like the way the offensive line played this year honestly surprised me because we're all talking about, oh man, is it going to be an issue, all this other stuff, but I feel like Poe, you remember during the preseason, what's his name, Trent Williams was talking up Poe. He was like, man, this dude right here is going to be a good dude. So but if what I want to say is if Mike McGlinchey is the reason why we can't sign Brandon Ayuk in the future, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. Sean B. Yeah, platform. I get it. Yeah, it's still on the books. Like I got that. I'm just saying it's a different situation. So
yeah,
although the 49ers are stupidly paying him, it seems like they've gotten kind of smarter with their money since that whole mishap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny, like the Debo thing is another like off-season thing that's completely, come back around now. It's like all off-season last year was the whole Debo getting paid, the getting traded, the whole off-season drama of Debo Samuel.
Quarterback situation.
Then he gets paid. We make it through the whole season. As soon as the off-season starts, now, the Patriots are sniffing around for Debo Samuel. It's like, why? Because he had said he wanted to trade last season, so now it's just easy to put his name to this bullshit stories you guys want to put out there. It's like the team and the Patriots of all teams, the team that hates paying players, like they're going to trade for one of the most expensive wide receivers. Like that's just crazy. All right, let's do this giveaway. Everybody got your numbers in? 49ers Podcast Network. Better get with it.
Yeah.
Better get on the train.
Javon Kinlaw.
Oh my God. What's up, Rod? Javon Kinlaw. We should be hearing soon about if they're going to pick up the 5th-year options for Brandon Ayuk and Javon Kinlaw, which I'm going to say no for Javon Kinlaw and yes for Ayuk.
I mean, it should be. It should be a no. Like, it shouldn't even be a thought, to be honest.
There's no way. That's like $11 million or something that they would pay him. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, ain't no way.
For one game of activeness that you get thrown across the freaking field, like, get out of here.
Yeah, got manhandled,
God, that was so fucking embarrassing.
Absolutely.
to another top team that we're probably going to have to face in the playoffs again. No, thank you.
Yep.
Like, we better tighten up those spots because I don't want to see that shit again. Get your numbers. Getting this open. Another thing that I want to talk about before we left is, and I talked about this a little bit with Raj yesterday. Jesse, Mr. Naylor of Last Second Sports, had brought up that 78% of Super Bowls have been won by Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks.
Yep.
44 out of 57. I think that brings up the conversation if, and this is what my thing was, is that, this year when we watched Purdy do what he did and the team do what they did, not to take anything away from it because it was great. But we can't go into every year expecting that we're going to have the number one defense. We just lost our defensive coordinator, and let's say if we have a top 10 defense, let's say we have the 9th overall defense, the 8th overall defense, is what Purdy can do, on his, for the quarterback position. Yes, it's a team sport, but his position, can he do enough to be able to carry this team to make up the difference of that first-ranked defense to that 8th-ranked defense? Is he going to be able to elevate this team enough to make up that difference and go in there and win the NFC Championship and beat Mahomes in Kansas City in the Super Bowl, or Joe Burrow and freaking the Bengals in the Super Bowl? Like, when the defense isn't enough, is his type of play, is his type of skill, his talent, we've seen him do great, but, he was the last pick of the draft for a reason. He does not have the talent of fucking Trey Lance. That might hurt some of y'all feelings, but he doesn't. So is his talent, whatever ceiling he might have, is that going to be enough to go and battle these Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the Super Bowl?
Well, what I will say to this, I know the first thing people are thinking of was, well, even if our defense drops, 8, 9 spots, Brock Purdy was still giving us 30 points a game. That's one thing they're gonna say. But yeah, so as of right now, I agree with you. Only thing that Brock to me has on Trey is poise, and he's a quicker decision maker. But that comes with time. You know what I mean? That comes with time.
It's
Trey
a question, Sim. You don't have to get all upset. It's a fucking question. So don't what me. Like, I'm asking a question. Is what Purdy has a fucking enough? Does he have enough talent to override the talent that Trey Lance has? Like, you don't need to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, I think, and people are going to say, well, look at Tom Brady. He was a 6th-round pick. Nobody thought he could get better. Those come like a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Brady had the arm strength. He was 6'4". And I'm not saying height means anything because you got the Drew Breeses, the Jeff Garcias who did their thing. So I'm not saying it's a height thing. But I think what people are looking at, and I think we're just in the moment because we're so thirsty right now for a championship, players and fans. We're so thirsty for championship that we're looking at the right now. So, and I get it. Like, what I mean? People want us to win, but I agree with Jesse because when you look at it, there's not many Trent Dilfers or Brad Johnsons that are giving you Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's gonna take somebody who can put the team on his back and can outthrow the other guy. And I'm not saying that Brock Purdy can't do that, but I don't think you've ever seen a Super Bowl with somebody winning, dinking and dunking. I think that's what it comes down to. You get behind 14, 17 points. Yeah, you can score still, but dinking and dunking, it eats up clock. When you got somebody, and like people say, well, look at Josh Allen. He don't win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen don't have a running game. Bills have no running game.
Never have.
But when Josh Allen, I don't think they've had a good running back since Marshawn Lynch was there. But when you sit there and you look at, teams like, who have a Joe Burrow, the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen's, or whatever the case may be, they can be down 2 scores and then they can get the ball back and then and 5 throws and 2 possessions can tie the game up because they throw an 80-yard pass. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's nothing against Brock Purdy. He just and I agree with Sam. He's also more accurate right now. Yes, he is. So there's a few things that he has on Trey Lance, but it's just one of those things where you know I just don't. We've talked about this plenty of times. I just don't know if the team and the fans are patient enough to wait for a Trey Lance. That's why I'm hoping that him not throwing as much, that having the arm fitness, they were calling it all year, and all this other stuff. He said, and people were pissed when he said he's not going to work on his mechanics. Like, why are you so mad? Like, maybe there's other things he wants to work on because the intermediate throws is something he needs to work on. I feel like he has the long throws down. It's the intermediate throws, and I feel like the decision making. Like he kind of feel like he doubts himself a little bit, but he'll get there. But I agree with you. I think all it comes down to it. Trey has the better tools. You can't say that Brock Purdy's smarter because Trey Lance had one of the biggest IQs, that that they've seen. So it's just going to be tough. Like I'm just gonna go back and say this. I don't know what's gonna happen if Brock Purdy gets better and we have our own Tom Brady on the team. Then great. I just don't see that happening. I don't. I just don't see somebody elevating themselves to being the Tom Brady. I'm not saying he has to be exactly him and win 7 Super Bowl. I'm just saying somebody who's the last pick to ever go out and do anything. Like, you've seen somebody like Kurt Warner do it who hasn't been drafted, but how often do you see that? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It just when it comes down to it, going to OTAs, going to TC, going to preseason, see who's the better guy, and I will eat my words if I see a huge improvement from Brock Purdy. I will. I'll say, man, like I didn't see him, having this type of, him getting that higher echelon or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. I guess it's a wait and see approach. I mean, I get it. I want a Super Bowl just as bad as everybody else, but at the same time, if you got somebody who you invested that much capital in, you also have to see what they got as well. Like I don't want the same mistake that that the Chargers made when they got Phillip Rivers and said, "Oh, we got Phillip Rivers, let Drew Brees go," and that was a huge mistake.
Mhm.
So that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from the time that Trey got drafted, like all we heard was, "Oh, this team's ready to win right now, so we got to play Jimmy. So
Yep.
let Trey sit. Now, oh, this team's ready to win right now, so we got to play Brock. Let Trey sit. So we traded all this to get Trey. Like it just seems like there's number one that whole we're ready right now. Let this person sit. Well, a lot of good that's done us because now we're in a situation where the last 2 years of letting Trey sit, the first year of letting Trey sit, we still don't have a quarterback. We didn't win a Super Bowl with the ready-made team now with freaking Jimmy Garoppolo. Right. So that whole plan went out was a bunch of bullshit,
Yeah.
and it just seems like a big case of recency bias.
Recency bias. Yep.
We just saw Brock do this. We just saw Brock do this. And everybody forgets about everything that we saw from Trey Lance that the team went out and traded. Like there's a reason they went up and gave up all this to go draft one of these top quarterbacks in that draft. Like, and there's a reason that Brock Purdy was drafted. All these teams passed on him and was the last pick of the draft. Tom Brady, like there's an exception and there's a rule,
Exactly.
Like we can't see something happen 90,000 times. Oh, but it happened this way 5 times. So it's probably going to happen for us like that. It's going to be the 6th one. Like, come on. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, and we don't know. And I see you guys, you don't know what Trey Lance is going to be. Yeah, I don't. But from everything that they have said that we've seen that they've talked about, Trey Lance was drafted at 3 because of his talent, because of how high his ceiling is. So if he doesn't get to play, we're never going to see it. You're right. That's what I'm pissed about. That's what I'm arguing about. We should get to see it. We saw what Brock did. Yes. And just because I'm not sold on a quarterback after 6 fucking games, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be. Because I've seen this fool's gold one too many fucking times in my lifetime.
Yeah.
To just say, he's our guy. Let me go buy his jersey, give him a $50,000 a year fucking contract. When he's off of this rookie deal and we're having to pay Brock Purdy $40 million a freaking year and we're not going to have all the talent around him, is he going to be able to win chips for us? That's what I want to know. Like, I don't think that's such a weird fucking question to ask.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see what's so crazy about me asking that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this chat too who said something, and I'm not gonna sit here and cry over spilled milk because the past is the past. But everybody who said it was right. There are people in here saying that Trey should have got his opportunity his rookie year when the expectations weren't as high because we missed the playoffs that year. Before that season started, so the expectations weren't as good. So if he would have started there, he would have got his reps. But the fact that we started Jimmy, we went to the NFC Championship. So I felt like now, like this team, there's certain guys on this team who are just like, no, like Trey ain't ready, Trey ain't ready, Trey ain't ready. Which you're only gonna get ready if you get reps, especially as a quarterback. And you're right, Sim. Scouts get it wrong all the time. If everybody knew exactly who was gonna be what, George Kittle would have been a first round pick. Fred Warner would have been a first round pick. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen that way. You got Fred Warner, who was a fifth round pick, and Fred Warner, who was a third. So, I mean, George Kittle, the fifth, and Fred Warner, a third. So people get it wrong all the time. I get it. But I see both sides of the coin. It's just tough. But like I said, you look at the situation. If we drop off in defense and we were top three this year, we drop down to 11th and we can't score, we can't hold people from scoring as much. Do we have the quarterback to keep us going and moving that forward? And plus, two, yeah, I understand he'll have a year in his system, but people are going to have a year of film on him as well. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's not going to be just as, oh, well, he's his second year system. Okay, well, defense have saw him. They saw his weaknesses. They can see his strengths. So if it has to be, him, I get it. But at the same time, you look at Trey, and everybody loves to bring up he ain't ready, he ain't ready. I'll say this before I say it again. He won us a crucial game where if we didn't win, we weren't making the playoffs. And Ty Austin, I think he left the chat, but he told me this best, and he broke it down for me when he came to Vegas and we hung out. The game that Trey ran the least is a game we won because Kyle let him throw the ball. And all I'm asking from Kyle, and no, I'm not saying I'm smarter than Kyle. All I'm asking for Kyle is to give Trey the same game plan as Jimmy and Brock. Stop using him as a running back in between the tackles 10 to 15 times a game. Let the man throw because we've seen it in the Bears game where he made some incredible throws on some crossing routes and stuff. Like one to Jawan Jennings was beautiful in that Bears game. So he has the talent. You just have to let Trey play. But like I said, it's going to come down to one of those things where I just hope that this team, I just hate it that people, I feel like there's the 49er fans are, 49er players are like picking sides right now. Some people want Trey, some people want Brock. How about play the best person? How
Right.
about how about going into training camp with an open mind and say, look, I'm giving both quarterbacks or whoever a third quarterback we bring in a fair shot. Let's see what they can do. And if Brock just he blows everybody away and he's killing it, he has a stronger arm, he's making better decisions. If he beats Trey out, so be it. But just don't go in there with with your head down thinking, oh, I already got my mind made up. Brock's our quarterback, and you don't give the effort and you don't give the mindset for Trey to go in there and give him the same type of platform. That's what I'm gonna be pissed off about.
Yeah, and like Corey says right here, it's almost like the players are content with just having a good record and losing the big game. And that's the same, goes back to the same argument that we heard about Jimmy all these years. Like, oh, well, he wins, but he doesn't win the Super Bowl. So who gives a shit at the end of the day? Like, isn't that the goal, to win the Super
Yeah.
Bowl? Not just to have the best record of the regular season when it's all said and done, and then be sitting on the couch during the Super Bowl?
Mhm.
It just seems like
Yep.
so many people, not even just the players, but fans alike, are just
Yeah.
so content with just winning games, just winning regular season games. And yet we won't have won a Super Bowl before we ever fucking die. Like I'll
Yeah.
be 90 years old and still haven't won a Super Bowl since I was 13, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of wins during the regular season.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate so many people like, when they talk about Jimmy and yes, I give him his credit. When we traded for him, he looked good. And then once again, you start putting film on the guy, you start seeing his weaknesses. Oh, he can't throw deep. He doesn't throw outside the numbers. He's going to throw over the middle. So, I mean, 90% of that man's interceptions are over the middle between the tackles. You know what I'm saying? Because of where he throws. And people know that. But in 2017, he was pretty good. So all I'm saying is just give everybody a fair shot. And everybody always wants to talk about Jimmy. Oh, well, he took us out of purgatory. And yeah, but what did he do? Like, I don't care about getting to the NFC Championship and losing. I've seen 3 out of the 5 Super Bowls. I want another one. I don't care about. Well, I don't know why you guys are mad. He wins. We're 11-6, 12-5. Okay, who says that's good enough?
Yeah.
If you're cool, if you're content with just us having 12-5 and 13-4 regular season records and not hoisting that Lombardi, then you need to look in the mirror and understand like where are your goals in life? Like, what do you see yourself as? Because if you're content with that, then you're content with mediocrity, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like David says, just making the NFC Championship isn't good enough. Eddie D had 5 rings in 22 years of ownership. The Yorks have 0 in 23 years.
Talk to them.
And it just seems like so many fans are just okay with that. Like, oh, like I'm going to continue to spend all my money, all my time, everything that has to do with this team that can't win a championship. But we're cool because we're winning more games than the Cardinals. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
What does that matter next year?
Yeah. Yeah, and Brian, I know you're a huge advocate for Jimmy G. I get it. I know you always say he doesn't get enough credit and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, but Brock Purdy had more touchdowns than Jimmy in one game than Jimmy had in 7. That should tell you something. Jimmy G is good enough to get you the regular season wins, but not good enough to get you where you need to be. So if you want to give credit to somebody that has 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and 7 playoff games, then so be it. That's not good enough for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me either. If Jimmy would have stayed healthy and won us the Super Bowl, then I would give Jimmy the credit he deserves. But what credit does he deserve other than that? He didn't do what he was supposed to do. That's win a championship. He came and won some regular season games, run a couple of playoff games when he was healthy, got us to the Super Bowl and lost. Like, so we got to give him credit for losing? Like that? No, I'm not down with that. Like, I'm not going to be happy with the Warriors if they're going on a drought and not winning the championship for 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
And say, oh, well, at least, they did just Kurt, he did good enough. Like, no.
Yeah. I can't be happy with somebody that goes into the playoffs and you expect, like, if you go into a playoff game and you expect your starting quarterback to throw at least 1 interception, that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
And the only he has 6 interceptions in 7 games, and I'm sure we all can guess what game he didn't throw a pick in, because he threw 8 passes against Green Bay. That's the only reason why he didn't throw a pick. He threw a pick in every single playoff game. I'm not feeling that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a Jimmy hater. He might be a good person, whatever the case may be, but to me, he's not a good enough for this team to win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Like I said, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 7 playoff games. I can't congratulate that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Beto says Jimmy G not even good enough to go out with a porn star and not get caught.
And what was that other stat? Some crazy stat too. He was like 10-2 without throwing a touchdown pass. So if that doesn't show you he's not carried, that right there just proves he's carried. There's not many quarterbacks in the NFL that can go 10-2 without throwing a touchdown pass. That's wild.
Yeah. Let's draw this giveaway. Let's get the hell out of here. I'm glad that we don't have to worry about fighting about Jimmy anymore. So
hopefully.
If you guys want to give him credit, you can give him credit, but don't
give him credit. Yeah, I'm not going to.
I mean, and if you can't understand why people don't give him credit, I mean, I don't know what more to tell you.
That's a good question, Chrissy. She says, what if Trey wins the job and we start off 0-4? What do you think about that? My opinion on that is it depends on how Trey plays. If Trey is doing good and he's not having turnovers and he's throwing 2 touchdowns a game and no picks, yet the defense can't stop anybody, then he doesn't need to be benched. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all depends on the play. That's like saying, like, oh, like if the old line is giving up a bunch of sacks, are we going to say, well, I guess we got to, even though Trent Williams isn't giving up a bunch of sacks, we're going to bench the whole offensive line because the offensive line is leading the league in sacks that are given. You can't bench somebody who's playing well, in my opinion. like I said, to me, it all depends on how Trey plays. If he sucks, then you bench him. But if the man in
Yeah.
4 games has 9 touchdowns and no interceptions in 4 games, why would you bench him? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Yep.
Everybody got your numbers in? We're drawn. Lawrence, don't start that. That'll start a whole other fight.
He said something crazy.
No, he brought up Kittle being if Kittle's going to be injured or not when Trey plays.
In 4 starts, he played 1 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we won that game.
90.
And we won the game that Kittle was in.
Let's see.
And that's another good point, Miriah, that somebody brought up. Like, Kyle, every year, his offense starts off so slow. So slow. Like, we don't get into a rhythm until like week 7 or 8, it seems. So even if Trey does start, if we start off slow, it's going to be some haters. Look, he can't even do the offense right. Like, I feel like the offense was kind of already in sync when Brock came in, because Jimmy was like 2-0 or like in those 2 starts prior to that. You know what I'm saying? So let me see.
Yeah.
We start off slow every year. We did it last year, did the year before. After that Colts game, I thought we were through in that monsoon when it was raining. I was like, man, we suck. We're 3-4, I believe. We were 3-5 heading into the bye. And I was like, man, we just need to start Trey already. Season's over. I'll admit that. And then we got into a groove. So, okay. What number do you see? Izzy said 94.
I saw 89. No, I saw 89.
You saw 89? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the number's 90, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going up. I'm looking at it too. Red and gold. 89. Okay.
Again. Yeah.
Man.
Where the hell did it go? There it is. There it is. Congrats, Jess, again. Just add it to this bag over here. Oh, no, that was 49. That wasn't Jess. That was 49ers Podcast Network. Who's controlling that, Ryan? Who's under that damn freaking thing? I'm trying to give your winnings away.
Yep. And you're right, Brian. 2019 was the only year in 6 seasons that we started off in the first half of the season with a winning record.
Yep. And that's the only season that we've gone with under Kyle Shanahan that we only had 1 quarterback.
Yeah, it's true.
So there was a lot of firsts for that year. A lot of one and onlys for that year. Who is this?
What up, Dion?
Hey, Dion. Sam, you know I love you too. Nothing but love, brother.
I think.
I don't think we talked about that.
No, we don't.
Hire.
Yeah, his thing is a secondary, so I can see the secondary being improved. I don't know. I think we still got Daniel Bullocks or whatever one of the Bullocks boys that we have on the team, but he's been pretty good being in the secondary. He came in the same time as D'Amico, and I honestly thought he was going to be the one they were looking at for DC, but maybe they felt he didn't have enough experience yet. But I think Wilkes will elevate that secondary, and I hope we sign Emmanuel Mosley back. Because if we sign him back to go with Charvarius Ward, I think the secondary will be on point, especially the way that Domino Lenore was playing. And I just need to see what's going on. But I'm gonna say this now. I'm a Wolverines fan. If Ambry Thomas don't get it together, get rid of him. Like he's not.
Last shot.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's going into his 3rd year. He's not showing his worth right now. Like he just needs to. Yeah, we got Samuel Womack. Like I said, Deommodore Lenore, he did his thing, But yeah, the way that I know Wilkes, like I said, he's one of the best secondary coaches in the league. So we'll see how that works out. So we could possibly have one of the best secondary coaches in the league, along to go with the best D line coach, and those two work hand in hand because your secondary is only as good as your pass rush. But if he improves that secondary, we might be just lights out on defense still. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's huge that finally we have a coach that specializes in the secondary. That seems like up until this point, our D line was on point. We have a great D line coach. Our linebackers have been point. And then obviously, with the linebacker coach getting promoted and all this, those two have been set. Like we know that we've had great coaches in that spot. But now to have somebody, and it was always the secondary that seemed to be lacking a little bit,
Yeah.
And now we finally have somebody that specializes in that secondary. So if we can get Charvarius Ward to get a step better, if Mosley if we are able to bring back Mosley and he's good from his injury,
That's
and
perfect.
he's able to get a step better, if the young guys, if whoever we sign in there in safety to play next to Huff, hopefully we'll see if what's his face retires or
Gibson.
Regardless, I think we need to bring in somebody young to get him, into that spot. But because Gibson will probably, if he does come back, it'll only be for 1 year. So
McCurry Ball, Izzy, I think he'll be good. I think he's our next Aziz.
Yep.
I think he'll be our next Aziz. I had higher hopes for the guy we drafted at North Carolina last year, that Jeremiah Gimmel. But they said he was kind of slow-footed and stuff like that. He's a tackling machine, but I don't know if he was on our practice squad or not. But he'll get a shot too. But McCurry Ball fits the bill of an athletic, undersized linebacker like Aziz, and I think he'll be perfect for there. Bring back Jason Verrett, no. Emmanuel Mosley, I hate that he got hurt.
Real quick. Enter your numbers. We'll do one more giveaway. Thanks. You guys can thank Alberto.
The thing about Emmanuel Mosley, like I said, I hate that he got hurt, but I'm happy when he got hurt because it gives him a full year of recovery. So yeah, I think Azeez Al-Shaair is gone. I think I'm pretty sure, I'm almost guaranteeing he'll be a Texan, because I'm sure D'Amico Ryans, because they have some money over there, I'm sure D'Amico Ryans will bring him over. But yeah, Marcelino McCurry Ball, I feel like he's the next man up. But I don't know if he's a free agent, but we still got Flanagan Foles, or is he a free agent now? He might be a free agent. So
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll keep him on the cheap, which they probably will, because he plays pretty well. Do you think Miriah, when he steps in?
Who?
I think Demetrius Flanagan Foles. I think he's solid. He's pretty solid.
But I'm more excited for McCurry Ball.
McCurry Ball, yeah, he's.
I've been high on him since last year. So.
Since last year, yeah. You had him making the team and stuff, so you were like, I like him. But he reminds me of Aziz because he's super athletic too.
Yep. Yeah, and I think Aziz will be going to the Texans. I think he's perfect to go over there, be the guy with the dot, leading the defense over there, starting.
Knows the scheme.
The whole.
Yep. Yeah, I think he'll be perfect over there.
D'Amico start that whole defense up. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
And he deserves that. Why should he stay somewhere as the third guy, whatever? When he deserves to be the guy. We've seen him handle it. We know he can do it. So, hats off to him. I wish him nothing but the best to go get a bag over there and shine.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I feel like him and go ahead. Oh, I feel like him and Greenlaw just kind of switched their roles a little bit, because last year it was talks of keeping him and letting Greenlaw go, because he was a beast last year. Aziz, I'm like, man, this dude is killing it. And I feel like, because Dre Greenlaw had all those injuries, but this year he felt like he was hurt all the time. Like, he missed a game here and there. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be, like you said, I wish nothing for the best for him. I hope he gets the bag. But also, at the same time, too, he might go to the Texans, but it all depends, too, what Robert Saleh, what he throws at him. So, that's another one where they might say. I think he will, too. I think
Jets are pretty much set. Like, their defense is good over
there. Defense is good. They say the quarterback. Yeah, I think he's going to be a Texan. Like you said, I wish him nothing but the best. Yeah. Hope he gets that bag.
Everybody get your numbers in. We'll do one more giveaway. We'll get out of here.
I agree, David. I think we'll draft. I think we'll draft a linebacker too. I think. What do we have? Do we have three third round picks or four? I think it's three, Miriah. We have three
I
third
don't
round
know.
picks.
Shit
Whether
ton.
it's three or four, I would like to go after O line, a safety, and probably like another corner in the second in that round. Yeah, we always get our linebackers late, and they always pan out either late or we don't draft them at all. Yep, I agree, Dion. He poaches the staff and players. I don't blame him. Make your job
Yeah.
easier. If I'm D'Amico, I'm like, I'm taking you. I'll be like the dude off a half baked. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool. I'm taking every single one of them. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, a D tackle too. But Sim, I'm really high on Collier Davis. I think he's gonna come in and do his thing. But I agree, D tackle. I think you're right. I think I'll change my stance. Right tackle, D tackle, and safety in the first 3 rounds with our three third round picks. Then maybe go with a corner in the fourth round. So yeah, I like that. But yeah, I'm definitely high on Collier Davis though.
I put this out on Twitter because something was
Mm,
released saying that there's tons of running back talent in this draft. I'm like, well, get ready for a running back in the third.
yeah, we better not. We better not. If he, I mean, so to me, you're doing the same thing that you're telling Trey Sermon. I'm drafting a third round running back because I have no faith in you. Because I think that TDP has what it takes to be a good running back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See, I don't.
I think we'll see next season.
Yeah, I don't think if we do get a running back, I hope it's day 3. I don't want
Yeah, or a drafted guy.
no third round or undrafted guy. Yeah, I agree. Me and Miriah drives us nuts because we love Elijah Mitchell. He's such a cool dude. And we saw him when we saw him in person. He's so cool, but man, the man. I mean, to have a season to go on IR twice to miss 6 games like that is
Yeah.
crazy. And the fact that he didn't even get much carries. So yeah, I hate to say it for him, but yeah, if we draft a running back in the third round, that's going to say a lot to what they think of Mason and TDP. So they better not go running back third round. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
in the
he was
Super
in the
Bowl.
Super Bowl, but
Eagles.
he wasn't
Yep.
active.
Nope.
So he's a Super
That's
Bowl
Super Bowl.
team participant, but not active. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Dion. We should just move forward with TDP, Jordan Mason, and CMC, and maybe get a running back like in the 5th or 6th round or something like that. Because we do better day 3 and undrafted. Because Joe, what's this guy's name? Joe Davis or whatever. No, Joe Williams was a 4th round pick. He was terrible. Trey Sermon, 3rd round pick, who we moved up for, was terrible. Now we got TDP, who wasn't even, he was inactive for the most part. They were given snaps over Tevin Coleman over TDP.
mm-hmm.
They're bringing him up, so I don't know what's going to happen with TDP, but we moved up for him. No, we didn't. We didn't move up for him. He was in the 3rd round, but I know Kyle was talking highly of him and saying, like, I need you to run this rock. I need you to run this rock. And so we'll see what happens, man. Just stick to day 3 or undrafted guys, in my opinion, for running back.
I haven't lost hope on TDP. I think he'll be good.
I haven't lost hope on him. I think he'll be fine. Yeah. Hey Brian, if you said I'll give you props, man. If we get a running back 3rd round, I'll be shocked and I'll give you your props on this show. It'll be like Brian Cope called it, 3rd round running back.
Stop licking me, you crazy.
Yeah, he was
All right.
terrible. He was terrible this year.
I mean, you barely even got a chance. So, like, I'm
Yeah.
not up for calling rookies terrible when they get to
Yeah.
run the rock freaking 3 times. Like, come on.
He ran the block maybe 10 times
Gotta
all
do better
season.
than
Like
that.
I have to see
Like,
him
that's the same
next
with
year.
people calling Trey Lance terrible, like, after fucking 3 starts. Like, come on. Terrible. Like, that's crazy.
He got like 10 carries all
It's not
year.
like he got stuffed every carry that he had out there. Like, if you got stuffed every single carry that he actually had, like, okay. But to say terrible, like, well.
Hey Miriah, here's what I would say. If I'm Kyle, I'm looking at a pattern. You had Elijah Mitchell, who was a 6th round pick, looking better than your 3rd round pick in Trey Sermon. You got your undrafted guy in Jordan Mason, looking better than your 3rd round pick in TDP. like you hit more with these guys who I feel like have a chip on their shoulder, have something to prove, like the Jordan Masons and the Elijah Mitchells. But I really do think CMC
Yeah.
and Jordan Mason are going to be our 1-2 punch this coming season. But I still have hopes for TDP.
Yeah. Alberto, that one's name is Charlie. That one that was just here.
I have a dog named Charlie. That's hilarious.
Yeah. He's the dog I had found when I worked at Arizona Charlie's. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Security had called like the animal control to come get him because we found him like by the pool at the hotel at the casino, and before animal control got there, I went down there and like he got into my lap and I'm like called my wife, come get him, I can't let him go.
Watch
so we
this.
named him Charlie after Arizona Charlie's.
That's hilarious. Watch, let me see something. Charlie, see her head, see her get up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Charlie, look, she's coming towards me. You want to be picked up too? Now I gotta show you too.
Charlie and Charlie.
And my kids picked her out. I wanted a Doberman, but they were like, Dad, can we have this dog? I'm just like, all right. And of course, I take care of it most of the time. Yeah, I wanted a Doberman so bad. They were like, Dad, we want this dog. We want her. And I'm like, all right. Yeah.
Mine's a boy.
Oh, okay.
A boy Charlie and a girl Charlie.
Girl Charlie, yep. And now she won't leave me alone because I called her.
See what you started?
I know.
All right. Let's do a little something different. Let's do Trey Lance rookie card. Let me see you get here. And then we'll do this one with Cap. Who's on here? Kaepernick, Frank Gore, Anquan Bolden, and Ahmad Brooks.
Ahmad Brooks.
Leaders. Yep.
Mr. Offsides.
So good luck. Let's draw the winner, and then we're getting out of here for real. Oh, 2.
2. Oh, all right, let me look through these numbers. I have to put you down, Mama. You have to go for a minute. She's not looking at me. All right, here. Number 2. Hate scrolling
9,
up.
a 7, a 3.
Yeah, I don't see nobody closer than that.
Bryant.
Yep, it's Bryant. I don't see nothing closer.
All right. Congrats to the Colts. Congrats. Let me find a little thingamajigger here.
Congratulations, Bryant.
All right, fam. We're going to get out of here. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, or hanging out with me last night.
It was a long show.
We'll be back next week. Yeah, I was worried we wouldn't even be able to have a show because, off season, shit's slow. Like I just did a show yesterday. How much more can we really talk about?
Yeah.
We did it.
I think with the 49ers, with all the drama we got going on, there's always something to talk about.
Exactly.
Exactly, Sim.
All right, fam, we love you.
Men don't cheat.
Please.
Except Sim, you know what?
Make sure you hit that like button.
Please. Sim, I thought you had that dog in you, though.
That's
talking
right.
about you got cats at the house. Come on, bruh. No, I'm just playing. Rise it, please.
All right, fam.
All right, you guys take care.
Yeah, for real, Aaron. It is.
Yeah.
Much love. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, we'll be back. I'll be back Tuesday. And then, like I told you guys yesterday, we're trying to get some more guests on the show during this slow time. So we'll see who we got coming on. And then we'll have a show for you guys. So, yeah, we'll be back. We'll do this again next week. Everybody have a safe weekend. Safe rest of your week.
Have a good evening.
Appreciate y'all. We're out of here.